Hey, church family, welcome back. We have another recap video for you for this last week that we've been reading the scriptures. This week was Numbers 7 through 24, and we are starting to see in more detail what happens to God's people after the Exodus. More than 30 years have passed, and they're now wandering in the wilderness. And so, Pastor Chambers, can you remind us what the wilderness is? Is it just a really big desert? Is there more to it than that?
Yeah, I think wilderness, my mind goes back to the cartoons growing up, just desert and nothing around, right? But this wilderness is way heavier than that. Last week I mentioned to check out the wilderness series by the Bible Project, and I forgot to link it, so I apologize. But what is the wilderness? So the wilderness is a place of chaos, death, decreation. It's everything that the Garden of Eden was not. So if you see pictures, if you understand the elements, if you know what creatures live there, nothing makes sense as to how 2.5 million people would survive, except by the miraculous provision and protection of Yahweh.
Yeah, and survive for 40 some odd years.
Right,
an entire generation.
Yeah.
So how are the people responding in all of this as God's keeping them alive in the wilderness?
Rebelliously.
Yeah, every chapter.
Yes, every chapter. They are not grateful for what they have. I mean, hitting the highlights, where do we start? There's that group that got tired of the manna and they wanted quail. Miriam and Aaron, they wanted their flowers too. Korah and his lackeys thought they were equal to Moses. The Israelites as a whole did not want to conquer the promised land when the spies returned. They grumbled about that. Moses, at the rock to provide water, he disobeyed God's instruction out of frustration. And then we just see the continued impatience and grumbling. And what's really unfortunate about this is these actions had consequences, specifically fatal ones. Mm-hmm. Everyone passed away from these, not at once, but eventually this led to their destruction. But always, God's grace and mercy and saving is present. He never killed everyone and started over. We see that all the way back to Noah. Mm-hmm. Never killed everyone and started over. And even in the midst of all this, he still provided conquest over their enemies in the wilderness. And he paints this picture of the coming Messiah through the bronze snake. As the snake just bit people and Moses crafted this thing, he said, look to the snake and you will be healed. Mm-hmm. And probably the largest miracle of all, as we touched on at the beginning, he is sustaining 2.5 million people in the wilderness for 40 years.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's something that we can sometimes overlook when we're reading in Leviticus and Numbers and Deuteronomy, that it truly is a miracle every step of the way. Every time that Israel needed something, God provided, and because we know God does not change, this week I was reminded of this, that whatever God's people still need, He still provides, whether that's the church or it's us individually. He is continuing to be our provider.
Yeah, real quick, something that came to mind that I hear in the Bible recap that I've done is, she'll always remind us that what God initiates, God sustains, and God fulfills.
Yep, that's a good reminder.
Thanks. That's all I had.
We'll see you guys next week.
Have a good weekend.